All right, peace, family. What good? It's your man Ocean. We back at it. The freedom fight continues. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and share if you new to the channel. I appreciate your time. What we got here, man? I'm checking out this Boyce Watkins interview with Dr. Claud Anderson, and it's a very great interview that Boyce is conducting. And Dr. Claud Anderson is really laying some heavy shit down right now, and I kind of want to get into some of the statements that he made throughout the course of this interview, and this is gonna be a little mini series or whatever, because he's dropping so many jewels on this joint. Doctor Claude is a PJD. That's a prolific jewel dropper. I kind of consider myself to be somewhat of a PJD myself. So I great minds tend to think alike, and excuse me for thinking that I have a great mind. But anyway, this is Dr. Boyce getting ready to ask him about basically how he feel about the Black Lives Matter movement. And let's just get into see what Dr. Claude has to say about Black Lives Matter. And he's such a great teacher, and with any great teacher that he's long-winded. So we're gonna let him get his full answer out. Then I come back with and try to further break down what he said if I could possibly grace it in such a way. It's your boy Ocean to go, man. Let get into the interview, man.
When the civil rights movement started, and when Martin Luther King jumping on an issue down in the South, is that your primary purpose, what I was discovering in all my years in government and over education for a state and the chairman for economics for governors and with two presidents and running campaigns, you should stick with the primary issue. And the issue should be, what was the purpose of slavery? And see if that matches up with what the Black Lives Matter people are saying. What was the purpose of slavery? Slavery was a.
So we want to go slow. So I don't want to let him get too far ahead, and then I don't know what the fuck he said. So I'm gonna go slow as I gotta go in order to make this a something that we can learn from. So he said, in his opinion, and in his respectful opinion, and his elder opinion that been around, he said the first priority should be reversing what slavery did. And I'm not finna talk. I'm gonna let him talk, but I just want to make sure that we caught that.
Systems put in place where this country founded documents that put blacks into a caste system. As I said, subordinate to a class.
Caste
it's a
system.
caste system blacks are locked into in the United States Constitution on that document. So blacks always go around quoting about what the Constitution said for them, nigger rights. They don't have any rights in the first Constitution. That was initiated and ratified.
We don't have any rights in the first Constitution.
In 1789, they have no rights and privileges. Now, what was the purpose of slavery? Slavery was to put blacks into a caste system, then to systematically maldistribute almost 100% of all this nation's wealth, land, minerals, income, businesses, rights, privileges, and controls of all levels of government into the hands of the dominant white society. Period. That's it. Before you do anything else, that's what you should be focused on. That's your basic thing you should be focusing on.
Let's run that back. Let's make sure we heard that. I'm gonna give him about 20 seconds. We're gonna run that. We're gonna make sure we understand what Doc is trying to get across, man. We're gonna make sure this is a learning moment right here. So I'm gonna give him them 20 seconds back.
Almost 100% of all this nation's wealth, land, minerals, income, businesses, rights, privileges, and controls of all levels of government into the hands of the dominant white society. Period. That's it. Before you do anything else, that's what you should be focused on. That's your basic thing you should be focused.
They maldistributed everything and made sure that they skipped us in the process with everything. It was very intentional for us to be left on the outside looking in. It was very, very deliberate. Let's make sure we cast them to the permanent underclass and make sure that white people can all stay above ground and above water because we always got they fucking neck and they fucking head to stand on. Okay? Now let's get back to what Doc talking about.
Now, you just indicated to me that a lot of the major issue right now is police reform. Now, you tell me how focusing on police reform is going to correct those things I just articulated. How do you correct the wealth maldistribution in this country by talking about police reform or about land?
Black Lives, this Doc personal opinion, and you know, basically it's a lot of shit in question about whether Black Lives Matter is actually progressive for black people. So that's the purpose of me doing this video, okay? Cause even right just today on my own YouTube, I mean on Facebook, you know, I got into a couple of little difference of opinions with a few of my guys on this particular subject in the last few days and weeks or whatever. So I know I like to talk to just like the Claud do. So, you know, let me get back to him though.
Blacks have a deficit in land ownership, a deficit in income, a maldistribution of their resources. How are you going to correct that? Police reform can't do black folks any good unless you go back to the basic things I'm talking about. And that is go back to the primary thing. What controls the police? The police now, on a vertical order, the police is on the third floor in a vertical 5-story building. They're on the third floor. The second floor underneath the police is the political structure. That's who controls the police. Everything.
This is Doc talking. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with anything, and I don't that anybody said with everything that anybody says, and I definitely don't know everything. But Doc said Doc saying work through the political structure. So I'm gonna listen to this. I'm telling you to listen. So it'll be smart for me to listen to.
From the Supreme Court to the Congress and down in all state legislatures, that's what controls police and the city mayors. And who controls them? It's the economics on the first floor. Economics. Economics controls all of those things. So why would you spend so much time and energy, mess around with police reform when you can control the police on the third floor by first controlling the economics? That's why
you can't control the police if you don't control the money. People keep asking why reparation. Because money is the key. Ain't no apology, no class, all that shit ain't the key. Money is the key. So, cause long as I'm prominent, it don't do you no good to just kill me. That bring too much heat. That bring too much shit to you. So you gotta understand, it's levels to the shit, definitely.
You're not seeing any major things going on. The police are not shooting wealthy Jews or industrialists. They're not shooting white women. They're not shooting Asians. They're not shooting American Indians. The only people they're shooting are the people who are the lowest in the income level and the power structure. And that's the people that's down on the bottom, all that. On the bottom, and that's black folk. Because black folk now, why don't blacks have an economy?